Hello everyone, my name is Tien Lao, and I'm a student of the Discord 300 class, and today I'm going to give a presentation about my choice for an example of a contemporary fairy tale that we do not have time to study in class time, but I'm going to make a connection between the fairy tale that I choose and the fairy tale that we learn during the time. So the story that I choose is Tam Cam, and and there's actually a movie make out the fairy tale that you can actually search up in YouTube and watch it. And surprisingly, it actually have English subtitle for that. All right. So I'm from Vietnam, and this is a fairy tale from my own country. So you can look at the map. That's right there. That's my lovely country. All right. So first thing first, I'm gonna give a brief summary of Tam Cam. Then we can go over to the comparison between Tam Cam and Cinderella. So we can observe that how it changed, the adaptation, the similarity and the differences between the two when the version of Grimm brother adapt to the Vietnamese culture. Alright, so before I begin that, so the story, I divide the story into two parts. So the top part of the iceberg is what I actually learned from my childhood, and that's the information that I have on the textbook. And the bottom part of the iceberg is the least part of the story that I have to self-discovery via internet and my friends, because those information is not gonna be on textbook, and there's a reason for that. Alright, so it's a story about two half sisters, Tam and Cam. Alright, so Tam's mother passed away due to illness, and her father joined her mother short after. He remarried to Cam's mother, so Cam and the stepmother. Alright, and the stepmother has all the unique characteristics of an evil stepmother who's always yelling, always angry, talking nonsense, and giving difficult tasks for our protagonist character, right? And I think one of the reasons for that could be Cam is a biological daughter, so she has a huge bias toward Tam. Alright, and she's has a favor for Cam because Cam is her daughter. Alright, but the antagonist of the story is not the stepmother, is actually Cam, because Cam is try in the movie, she tried to manipulate her own mother, and it turned out working. So in the story, the prince he set up an event where he gathered the woman in everywhere together, so that he can pick one of them to be his wife, and everyone know about it. Also Tam and Cam and her stepmother, but the step family stopped Tam to come to the event by mix a really big bowl of two different kind of beans together and ask her to pick it out, and also the bad one. Alright, and so the protagonist she has a difficult task. So then there's a magical an old man come up and give her magic so she can solve the problem, so she can have time to join the event. So on the way, she dropped one of her slippers in the prince's fight accidentally, and I would say that like at the moment like their fate is like crossed together. And then the prince come back and announce that if anyone can fit the food into the slipper, that person gonna be his wife. And Tom did that, and they become wife and husband in front of the stepmother envious eyes. So up to this point, everything is really like similar to Cinderella, but the rest gonna be different part. So because their plan is not succeeded, the stepmother planned to murder her daughter, Tom, and then send Gam, her biological daughter, to the prince's castle to replace Tom as her last wish. The prince cannot like go against that wish, so he accepted that. And Tom like she come back alive like many times, like due to many attempts of her step family to like re-murder her again. And so everything from now is from the beginning to until now is like the top of the iceberg, and that's what on the textbook. And for the alright, so for the upcoming part is like a revenge of Tam to the family, and that's like the bottom part of the iceberg that's not on textbook. Alright, so in the revenge, when Tam returned to palace, Cam questioned Tam about the secret to her beauty. Surprisingly, Tam agreed and demanded Cam to jump into her hole, and then she filled up the hole with boiling water, which ended up like cook Cam alive. Alright, Tam then used like Cam flesh to make fermented sauce and trick the stepmother into eating it. And that's the bottom part of the iceberg. The reason why it's not on textbook because in Vietnam, folktale and fairy tale is used to nourish the younger generation about the good, the bad, the empathy, and moral understanding. Therefore, the revenge part of the story is not on the textbook because it's kind of brutal for the kid to take in. So that's why until like in late high school, I discovered about this part, like this variation of Tam Cam. And in the movie, they actually a scene right here that so the woman who holding the bowl using the chopstick to eat it, that's like the stepmother, and the thing on the rice is actually the fermented sauce. The revenge part is not show up in the movie. They didn't make it because this movie for like 14 plus, so it's gonna be beyond there. So instead of that, they put a 5-second scene of the stepmother eating the fermented sauce without like explaining what going on, because that's the bottom part of the iceberg. So it's actually there. Alright, and these are like the similar they have like sleeper, luxurious like suits for the prince to recognize it, and there are also like horses, white horses, and carriage to carry out our protagonist to the palace, right, to the castle. And we also, so in the movie, in Tam Cam the movie, there's like a show up of an old man, and we call him Bụt. So it's a wise old man that usually pop up from the fitina and usually help people in a really difficult situation. And on next to them we got the fairy godmother, which is the one who helped Cinderella in the Cinderella movie. And on the right hand side is a castle in Cinderella, and at the bottom is a bridge. In the two movies, there are also bridge, so that's the similarity between them. Alright. Alright, so how can so about the difference between the two movies. So on the Tam Cam movie, the context in the story is delivered in the most suitable way for the 21st century audience, because most of the audience right now is from generation Y or generation Z, and their way of observing and taking art and fairy tale is kind of different from older generation. So therefore, movie from the 1990, 1980, even 2025, that older version, it does tell the story very good, but it's not interesting for our people, 21st century audience. That's why they use CGI and special effects, and with the modern art in directing and evolve storytelling, they make the movie become more catchy for the people, and it's actually another way to deliver the more in the fairy tale to the audience. So to sum it up, so this makes the imagination even more vivid and colorful, but the moral understanding is to keep it the same. Alright, so I think that's the end of my presentation. You guys can search it up about the movie. It's named Tam Cam, the untold story. You can see right here, and it actually have English subtitle. And I suggest that people should watch that, because it's gonna be interesting. Because it would be CGI and stuff, even monster fighting in the movie, but you can see the actual story in the movie. Alright, so this is the end of my presentation. Thank you guys for listening, and see you again. Thank you.